So what is the HANA replication? HA, high availability replication. So what is that? Replicating the data from primary to secondary. We can also install the HANA database in the high availability mode, which means the primary and secondary. We can create the two HANA host, different host, two HANA same SIDs, same SID, same instance number, different host name, different host name. Then we can install the two HANA databases with same SID and everything. Then so all the transactions will happen to the here automatically. This will be replicated to the secondary node as well. This will be replicated to the secondary as well. This is called the HANA replication. This will be replicated to the HANA. That is called the HANA replication configuration. Replicating the data from primary to secondary. In case of any failover happens in the primary or anything is not working here, automatically it will fail over to the secondary node. Secondary node, the operations will happen from here. So why? Because here all the data, whatever the data is there here, all the data got replicated to the here. Then so same one when we are doing the transactions here, then same data will replicate from here to here. It will happen here, the reverse replication, forward replication and reverse replication also will happen here. So here to perform this configuration, what we have to do to perform the replication configuration. So what we have to do here, so there are the some pre-steps we have to perform in this configuration side. There are the some pre-steps we have to perform. So the first one, so we should have two hosts here. We should have two hosts different host names should be installed. Then we have to install same SID and same instance number on both the host. We have to perform this configuration here. Same SID, same instance number on the both the host. We have to perform it here. So once that is done here, same SID, same instance number on the both the host we have to perform. So then what we have to do, once everything is up and running, then copy the SSFS keys from source. Source means primary. Source means primary to the secondary. Then restart the secondary database. Restart the secondary DB to see to see whether database is up and running or not. So to check, we need to restart. Why? Because sometimes what will happen after copy the SSFS keys from primary to secondary, then this so sometimes secondary it won't start it here. The location of this keys is like USR, SAP, SID. So global global, then there is a RS folder security, then there is a RS folder. There we need to copy the folders from here, then restart the secondary DB. Then here, so on the primary side, once done it here, primary, we have to enable the replication. We have to enable the replication. We need to enable the replication on the primary. Then secondary side, so stop the DB using HANA Studio. Using the HANA Studio only we have to do that one, right? Or HANA Cockpit here. Using HANA Studio, we have to perform these steps here. Same as like using HANA Studio. Using HANA Studio, we have to perform the stop and so register the register secondary onto secondary onto primary here using HANA Studio only. HANA Studio or Cockpit we can use it here. Then just provide replication modes here the replication modes and the operations. Then operational modes, we have to provide replication modes and operational modes, we have to give it here. So check the replication status from primary, from primary, replication status from primary. Then, so we perform the failover tests, perform the failover, failback tests, we can perform it here. So these steps we have to perform as part of the replication configuration here, right? So here, so we should have the both the host here. So we have the two hosts are there here. One is the SAP HANA and we have the SAP HANA 2. So let's see the both the host here. This is the SAP HANA and we have the SAP HANA 2 also available here. This is the SAP HANA 2. Okay, 105. This is the 2 here. So both the side, both the host database should be up and running here. Let's see whether here the DB is up and running or not. When you go to the DB info, yes, this is up and running. See here, our guys are created a lot of tenants they have created. After they create, whether they will stop it or delete it, they won't do it. I know. So if we will just they will use the commands, then they have created the multiple nodes, multiple DBs they have created, right? I already explained how to delete the tenants also, but even though they have not deleted anything here, right? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tenants they have created. Okay, that's fine. So then here what we can do, so it's up and running. Let's see whether it's up and running or not. First of all, it should be up and running. Okay. So this HDB database got up and running here. Okay, this tenant also is up and running here. So now what we have to do, and this is also up and running, SPS 08. One more important thing is here, when you are installing the HANA, same SID, same insta, both the host, both the versions should be the primary and secondary, the both the versions should be either same or target should be higher than source. Source is the one version, target is the lowest version. So then replication, it won't work. Either it should be the same or target should be higher than source. Then only the replication works. Okay. Otherwise replication will not work here as per the SAP. So now our target is the higher version. It's like a SPS 08, that is the SPS 07 here. So now both the side, both the host we have. Now what we'll do, we'll check the connectivity part from source to target, target to source here, right? So here what we have to do, we need to slash vi etc host file. We need to configure the, we need to add the target details here, target IP details. We have to add it here 105. Then KPS4 HANA 2, KPS4 HANA 2, we have to add it here. Then here also we need to add the source details here. So vi slash etc, then host file, we have to add the KPS4 and 1 details also we have to add it here. So both the host, then we have to add so these details here, right? One is the 104, second one is the, that is done. Then you can use the ping command to check the status here. Okay, ping command, ping. So whether secondary to primary, is it connecting? Yes, it is connecting here. Then, so secondary to primary. Then primary to secondary, is it working? The ping test, KPS4 HANA 2, yes, it is working. So both the side, the connection part is working. It is getting the ping response. So both the hosts are so working fine. Both the hosts are working fine here. Okay. So both the hosts are working fine. It is pinging. It is getting the response. So now, so primary, secondary, both you need to add into the HANA Studio level here. Both the you need to add into the studio level here. So what you can do, let me remove. Why? Because here there is a lot of confusion here. You can see, right? All are the same SID, only instance numbers are different here. So what I will do here, I will first I'm going to add the primary here, KPS4 HANA, then instance number 00, multi-container. Here, this I will call it as the PRI primary, then system, and the password we have to enter it here, right? It's already there in the folder. So what I will do, I will delete all. Done. KP S4 HANA 00 and multi-container system database primary, right? So then why? Because secondary also you need to add it. That time you will get confused. That's why just give the description to understand purpose here. That's why just PRI. Okay. Then primary, secondary DB also you need to add it here. Sorry, primary tenant also you need to add it here, right? Then multi-container. So then, so HDB, then PRI tenant, PRI, so tenant, then system, you can enter the password, but what is the tenant DB port instance number here? I said 4003. Why the password is not working? Yes, it is connected now. Okay, so I added. Now I'm going to add the secondary also here. So 192, it's like 105. So just IP I connected. So this is the secondary. Add the system, then enter the password here. Okay. Secondary also you have added here. Secondary also you have created here, right? So primary you added, then secondary system DB also you added, then you are going to add the so secondary tenant DB as well here in the replication part here. Okay. So here 00 multi-container system database HDB, then system, then we can just give the tenant DB SID. So here both the databases you have added here. System DB, tenant DB of primary host, secondary host, primary, secondary, both you have added here, right? The only thing is the version difference. The primary is SPS 09, SPS 07. Then when you check the secondary, so secondary, it's like a SPS 08 here, 08 here. So, right? So both are different. Now, what you have to do, right click on the system DB. Both the side is okay. But thing is here, we need to first of all exchange the keys from primary to secondary. We have to do the exchange here. So where is the our primary? So KPS4 HANA. So here the user, then the password. So then we can go to the USR, SAP, then SID, then SYS, global, security, RSS, and data and keys. These two we have to copy to the primary to secondary here. These two we have to copy from primary to secondary. Just copy these two. Otherwise, the communication will not work from primary to secondary. Then go to the secondary. So it's like a 192.106.0.105, or we can also connect it the host names I have added in the etc host file, then same password here, right? Then here same slash usr sap, then sid, then sys, then global SAP security, RSS, data, and keys, right? So these two we need to override on the secondary here. It will be override. Okay, just it is overriding here. Done. Then after that, what you have to do, you need to restart the secondary here. HDB ADM. Then just click on the HDB step stop here. So what I will do, I will configure the etc host file so that we can able to log in with the host name. KPS4 allow 105. So it is stopped. Then you can start it again back. Okay. So you can directly log into the from your gem server putty, then just you can use the KPS4 HANA 2, then just accept, then it will work now with the host name. Okay. Why? Because IP I configured there, so it will work here. So once it is started, so it is starting. Sometimes it won't start after the copy. So by luckily it is started now. Okay, database is started. So now what we have to do in the primary, right click on the system DB configuration monitoring, configure the system replication. So here, so we have to use the HDB ADM, then the password we have to use it here. Here, enable the system replication. So last backup you have taken on the 1210. So that backup will be replicated to the secondary, primary to secondary, primary host name, PRI, just site name we have to give it, and this will be registered. Now problem is when you are registering secondary into primary, it won't register due to the issues. Now you need to stop the DB. Why? Because when registering the secondary into primary, you need to stop it. Stop secondary, register the secondary into primary. Okay. So then it is stopping now. See, it is stopped. Then right click on the secondary system database. Then click on the configure the system replication. Give the HDB ADM. So then we can use the password. So register the secondary here. Okay. Register the secondary system registered into the primary here. Then what is the secondary host? Logical system means sec. And here we need to provide the replication modes. There are the three types of replication modes, and there are the two types of operation modes are available here. So that I will explain what is it mean by synchronous, sync mem, and sync asynchronous here, right? Then log data shipping and a log replay. There the modes are available here. I will explain it clearly. So here just select the sync mem or log. So both you need to select it. Then source information is like a KPS4 HANA is the our source here. Initiate the full data shipping here. Click on the finish button here, right? So then it will see here it should register. So if it is registered successfully, that is fine. Then if it is failed, then we need to check the all the logs and everything here. It won't register sometimes. I think it's registered successfully. Sir, where can I check that it is registered successfully or not? Means in the primary, click on the refresh. Here, there is a replication status is shown here. In the landscape tab, there is a system replication option. If you see it here, the replication things are, it will be show the status here. Replication, it will show the status here, right? Replication, it will show the status here. Here, so once the register it here, secondary will be started automatically. If not, you need to start it here. So secondary not started here, just start the secondary. Stop it, register, then start it here. Then once it is started, then you can see the replication will be active status here. It will be active status here. Means whatever the primary data that will be replicated to the secondary. That will be replicated to the secondary node here, right? So one field will be added
Ravi,
system
one sec.
replication status. There you can see the system replication. So here the full replica from primary to secondary is happening here. First name server will do the replication. Then so name server will do the replicating. Secondary, see replication logs, log shipping, data logs, everything will be replicated to the secondary. It is active. Then second one it comes to like a system DB, tenant DB. Then so access engine and index server. So this data will be replicated.
Ravi, one second. Here for registering secondary should be stopped, right?
Yeah, while registering, it should be stopped. And once the registration is done, then you need to start it. Then connection will be established. Then it will start loading the data and everything here.
If we stop, that system will shown in studio in green.
With SID ADM, we are connecting. Yeah, it will show.
Okay.
So now it see its services are active, but not in sync. Not in sync. Sync means it's not synced here. Still it is replicating. See here, it is replicating. Anyhow, these three tenants we can ignore it. Why? Because our guys are created additional tenants. So that's why. But though can ignore it. Only these three. One is the name server, access engine, tenant related things will be replicated from primary to secondary. So its replication is active. It's active. Already data is active here. So which means so whatever the data is there in the primary, that will be replicated. Replicated. What is the last log position? What is the shipped log position? I think all are ripped. So this one, like this one. So shipped log position to secondary. What is the last log position number in the primary? So both should be sync here, right? So then shipped log position timelines. So log buffer size here. So then you can see we can maintain it here. What is the shipped save point log position here? Then so here we can see the so replica count, all the information we can see it here. All the information we can see it here. How many locks are replayed after shipping? How many locks are replayed here into the secondary? So everything it will keep on updating the values and everything here. Why? Because the whatever the transactions save point will happen, everything will update to the primary to secondary. So only thing is here you should know what is the
So,
replication modes and what is the operation modes. We have to select it. When we have to select it, what is the use of the each and every operation modes, replication modes that you should know.
Ravinder, one question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
Okay. So when the replication happens basically at every save point, right?
Replication, whatever the logs, whatever the data is there in the primary generating or generated, that data will be replicated to the secondary. Via this transaction logs
So,
will be replayed and data also replicated.
So the disaster, if the disaster takes place, so we will lose only maybe maximum of 5 minutes of data. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is the
The,
main memory to the persistency layer format. Every 5 minutes, the save point will happen. Then after
so
that,
we will have only, yeah, please.
yeah, after that, so the data, so based upon the replication modes, either mem or seek. So after that, based on that, the data will be replicated to the secondary.
So in case of a disaster, so when the other server, the replication server takes over as the primary index server, so at that point in time, so if people can just start logging in, or would they be thrown out of the system?
No, yeah, I think it will be reconnect. Applications will do the
Or
reconnecting.
like high availability, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Application will do the reconnect.
Okay. So it will, so connect, they will not lose the connection. Okay.
In case of they are in the dialog users, so small like session will be, yeah, definitely session will be disconnected.
No, it should not, because if the NetWeaver is running, or their SAP GUI is running, or anything else is running, so the NetWeaver part is not working. HANA by itself is just a database, so NetWeaver would basically route it to the next available database, whatever that is. It will just go in that squiggly, hourglass thingy. So it will ask you to wait for maybe a minute or so
Yeah, yeah.
before it
It's
gets.
not means immediately it will not take much time. So immediately it will switch over. It while that failover back,
Yeah.
that time your sessions, maybe you are in the active, that time your session will be disconnected.
I'm asking from the perspective of when the devices are connected to the database, and there is a lot of transactional data flowing around. Um, so that's why I was saying that unless the NetWeaver itself goes down, and if it is just the database, it's okay, because dispatcher is running in the NetWeaver. So dispatcher is the one, you explained it to us that GUI comes to dispatcher, dispatcher goes to task handler, then goes to DB, you know, 3 steps down. And then, so over here, the DB has just moved. So it's gonna, the moment it updates, it's gonna pick up that. So I don't think so we should lose the connection.
Means we no need to manually do it. They are the cluster tools that will automatically, it will fail over to the primary. It will switch the connections to the primary and primary to secondary. Why? Because so here people, if they don't have cluster concept, if they are not connecting, so virtual IP normally, so this is a SAP application. Then here this is the primary database and this is the secondary database here. Okay. So this is the SAP application. This is the SAP application is fine. But SAP application will not directly connect to the primary host. In between, so normally they will connect to the virtual IP concept, VIP. Normally in the cloud level, we will call as CNAMEs or virtual IP. So this virtual IP will point to the primary, and this virtual IP will point to the secondary as well here, secondary as well. So applications will connect to the this virtual IP only. So this virtual IP only. Why? Because this is the host name 1, this is the host name 2. So this virtual IP normally we will call it as the virtual IP or VIP or virtual host name. So applications is connecting here. When the something failover happens here, immediately this connection will switch over to the this secondary node. So but applications will stay same. Why? Because application is connecting to the virtual IP only. In case of application is directly connecting to the primary node instead of secondary node, in case of primary is down, then how this application will connect to the secondary? Again, we need to edit the file, connection file, and we need to map it. This is the manual thing here. So this is not the case of the automatic. So always in the high availability side, applications or any devices will always point to the virtual IP only. This virtual IP has a concept of active IP, active host, and inactive host here. So that In the active host, everything is running, something failover happens. They are the cluster tools here, CoroSync and the face maker. CoroSync and face maker, they are the cluster tools here. What it will do here, it will keep on monitoring your resources here. You will keep on monitoring your resources on the primary heartbeat. It keep on checking the heartbeat of the
Yeah,
primary.
CoroSync is just picking up the heartbeat. That's about it. So if the heart fails on this server, it switches to the other one automatically.
Yeah, the heartbeat is failovers, then immediately it is only automatically it will fail over the everything, all the connections to the secondary. So while doing this
Thank you.
failover to that time, so here, so that time it will be some disconnections happen. So who are actively working in the system, that disconnections will happen.
So anytime we are using replication server in place or we are replicating data, practically we are using high availability. We are using some kind of pacemaker or hypervisor or not really hypervisor, but pacemaker.
Yes. Right, correct. So here main thing is that we have to ensure all applications should connect to the virtual IP only. Then only, so
As a basis, folks, we have nothing to do with this virtual IP and this kind
no,
of
nothing
stuff,
we to
right?
do. So we will get the
Oh,
virtual IP. So
yeah.
whenever you are installing the SAP applications in high availability, you need to provide the virtual IP host name only. So that time it will register via virtual IP only. In case of virtual IP will point to the primary IP and secondary IP. So primary host name is down, no connection, then immediately this virtual IP will point to the secondary. Also, some customers, they will use the load balancers as well. FI load balancer, some third party load balancers also. In case of something is happens, immediately it will fail back to the here and everything. But what about the data from here to here means automatically we have the HANA replication we have enabled. So data will be stay here itself only. But only thing is, so the connections, applications will point to the here. Within that span of time, if any active users are there, is actively working something, that will be some disconnection, some repository metadata loss, something like that. You will get the some disconnections here. So
So when
again,
the
application.
when the server that failed that comes back on, so at that time our secondary server, the replication server that was initially our replication server, that will become the primary at that point in time.
Yeah, that will become a primary, and immediately
And
this will be reverse replication will happen. There is some configuration we have to do that one. Then again reverse replication will happen to the secondary. In case of this farmer, in case of this is not available, then replication will break. Then all the configurations and everything will stay with this one only. All the logs will be stay in this case only. When you are making the again all the logs, you need to switch it to the all the logs we have to ensure to the switch to the secondary to primary again. Then we have to then fail back to the normal status 3 again.
So, whenever there is a failback, a failover and failback, we kind of face like performance issues. What might be the reasons for that?
Yeah, I will explain it. So when you are using this type of replication modes, as I explained it, right? So we have the replication modes like primary and secondary. So we have to sync mem and async. There are the replication modes are there. So I will explain it. So I think we don't. Okay, only 2 minutes time. Okay, so tomorrow we'll do the failback and failover. That time I will explain why we have to choose the sync mem, sync, async, and all the configuration. This I will explain it tomorrow. Okay.
Okay,
That time we
thank
will
you, sir.
come to know when we will get the performance issues and all those things.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it for today. So thank you guys. So we'll talk tomorrow about the more on the